You can use any glazes on this shelf and this shelf here. Alright, so we're going to glaze these first project, the soft slumps. We're going to be using the brush-on glazes in combo with the dip glazes. So what we first want to do is cover like the back of our bowls or the insides of our cups or anywhere that like you don't have textures. So when we use these glazes, these need to be applied 3 coats so that it is opaque. Opaque means that it is not see-through or streaky. So we're going to just start by doing 3 coats on the back, and I'm going to do 3 coats in here and 3 coats from like here down as well as the handle. Okay. All right, for the textured parts, you can use 1 color, 2 colors, whatever you want. Just think about colors that go with each other. And we're just going to kind of glob it on to get it in those textures. So I'm going to do like a warm color kind of theme with the red and the orange. So I'm just globbing it on. And then we're going to take a wet sponge and you're going to just wipe so that the glaze is just going to be in those textures. So this will just accentuate all that texture work you did. So remember when I was telling you make sure your textures were deep, this is why. I'm recording a glaze video. Beginning. So now it's nice and clean. You see the color just in there. We'll do the same thing to the cup. So for the cup, I only put textures on the top half, so I'm only going to wipe the top half. If you did textures on the whole thing, go ahead and wipe the whole thing. Yeah. Yes, yep. Alright, so now we're coming over here to dip. If you don't want to use a dip glaze over top, your other option is just to apply a clear glaze everywhere that you wiped. So the clear glaze is on the glaze table. It's pink in color. You just need 1 coat where you wiped and then it's done. But if you'd like to layer a dip glaze on, I picked Spanish peanut because it's kind of a neutral tone to go with those red warm colors. You're going to grab one of the big whisks and use 2 hands, stir vigorously to make sure it's all consistent. Then you want to put this in the sink right away to rinse so you don't contaminate any other glaze. You're going to grab a glaze tong and hold your piece, and you just dunk it in once and pull it out. And then it should dry. You can set it down on its foot to let it dry. And then I'll do the cup as well to match. When you do the cups, just be mindful you need to pour it out. Don't pour it out and have it all fall on your clothes and shoes. I've seen it happen. And then I can set that down on its foot to dry. And then once it's dry, we're just going to wipe the bottom and it'll be done. All right, now that you dipped it, you have some choices to do. You could leave it dipped, so the dip glaze is over the colors that you did, and just clean off the bottom. To clean off the bottom, you just take a wet big sponge and rub it over the top. Until all the glaze is off, so there's still glaze there, so you keep rubbing it. Take a small sponge too to be a pain in the butt. And so that's nice and clean. All right, if you leave the dip on, what it looks like is this sample. You can see there's a little bit of the purple in the background that was wiped on here, and then this was dipped in the aqua, and then they just left the aqua on. If you want brighter coloring, this one, they decided to wipe again this portion. So there's the blue that they wiped on from the brush-ons, and then there's the teal from the dip that is wiped, and then we applied clear glaze. So on this one, I'll do that technique. So I'm going to take a sponge again and just gently wipe. If I wipe too hard, I'm going to wipe all that glaze just right out of the texture. So just a gentle wiping. So now I have the Spanish peanut in there, the red in there, and the orange in there. All right. And then I need to apply clear glaze. Clear glaze is on the table. It's in 2 containers. It's labeled clear glaze in pink in color, but it will be clear. Clear glaze just needs 1 coat. Okay, so when you're applying clear glaze, make sure you have a nice clean brush or go and clean it yourself because you know not everyone cleans up really well. But just dip it in the clear glaze here and put on 1 coat. Okay, 1 thick kind of just quick coating, only where you wiped. Okay, I don't need to put clear glaze anywhere else because the rest is covered in glaze. Just this part where we wiped has exposed clay. So once that clear glaze dries, you're going to do the same thing, wipe off the foot, and then they go on the glaze fire shelf. In this glaze area, you'll see it's got a sign on it. And then that's it.